Jaguars Digital. Jaguars Digital. Jaguars Drive Time. Brian Sexton, John Oehser, Ashlyn Sullivan. Jaguars Drive Time starts right now.
Fires along the left sideline. Caught by Colin Johnson. A leaping catch.
Yes! Yeah! Good ball, Mike! Yes! That boy, Colin! Wait, show up, DJ. Let's finish this. Yeah, that's how we do it.
That's how you feel it?
Ball.
That is one supportive tight end. Tyler Eifert mic'd up in Minnesota. You can check out the entire mic'd up feature on Jaguars.com right now. Welcome in Jaguars Drive Time. Ashlyn Sullivan here with Brian Sexton and John Oehser on this Thursday morning as we get ready for a home game in Jacksonville on Sunday against the Tennessee Titans. Titans week is always tough for me because I say Titans. Weird. But we have a special announcement to start this Jaguars Drive Time. Josh Lambo has been nominated for Jaguars Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, so congrats to Josh Lambo doing all kinds of good things in the community. And Brian, as we know, we saw Calais Campbell win it. It is a very prestigious award.
Yeah, I understood why they traded Calais away. But I really wanted to see that patch, that J.J. Watt wears. I wanted to see it on a Jaguars uniform. I told Calais before he left that's the only trophy the Jaguars have ever won. You don't get a trophy for a division title. You get one if you win a conference championship and a Super Bowl championship. And I was looking forward to seeing that Man of the Year trophy in the front case. Although I'm not sure how much I would have seen it with COVID this year, but. Good luck to Josh. It's a prestigious award, and if I were a player, I would want to have that on my uniform. I'd want a ring, and I'd want that patch. It's a very meaningful honor.
Absolutely. Very big honor that we have seen someone like Calais Campbell win here in Jacksonville. And let's get into big things getting ready for this Titans game on Sunday. Big thing one, we've said it before, we're going to keep saying it. Run, Robinson, run. Only needs 32 yards this Sunday to hit that 1,000-yard milestone. Could he possibly be the best rookie free agent in franchise history, having a phenomenal rookie season, definitely in the conversation? We'll break that down in big things. Big thing, too, is consistency. That's what the Titans are. They've been 9-7 since 2016. They have been in the playoff conversation. And that is exactly where you want to be. So how have they gotten this consistency over the past few seasons? Question mark. Big thing 3, used to this. Sadly, this quarterback talk we have going on is nothing new for Doug Marrone and Jay Gruden. Jay Gruden, for example, had many quarterbacks with his time with the Washington football team, but that's kind of why there's a factor in sticking with Mike Glennon is you're looking for that consistency. It's now 3 weeks that you have some consistency at that position.
I think anywhere you look, you know what I'm saying, John? I think anywhere you look around the league, if you're not, stable at that position, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging. So, we're trying to make sure we're trying to find, the right fit, the right guy, to lead this team and lead this franchise.
And I know we said yesterday, I promised myself that it was not a story anymore, the quarterback position. We heard Brian talk about it. We heard John talk about it. But John, that was before Doug Marrone and Jay Gruden spoke. And there was a bit of a Twitter eruption saying, especially after the offensive coordinator spoke, saying, okay, well, Gardner Minshew's healthy, because Jay Gruden did say that he didn't really see a difference from Gardner's arm now to when Gardner was injured with that thumb injury. Okay, he's healthy. Why not put him back out there? And there's this Twitter narrative that maybe they're upset with him for not disclosing the injury, but it's funny when you think about it in that way, because if Gardner gave them the best chance to win, do you really think they would care about him not disclosing that injury weeks ago if they thought it would win them games?
No, not at all. And it's
as hard as this is for people to believe, I guess I would refer them to watch and read what Bucky Brooks, who is an NFL media analyst and is contributing to Jaguars.com this year. We have him because he's a scout. He sees the entire league. He has said multiple times this week, and I agree, Glennon simply gives this offense the best chance to function. He throws the ball downfield more than Gardner did. He sees the whole field better than Gardner did. They're not going back to Gardner unless Glennon does something to the tune of 3 or 4 interceptions. I'm not hearing that inside. That's just how it is. And I'm not sure what else there is to say about it. I'm sort of at my end. I don't know really even where else to go. Gardner Minshew is not going to be back in the lineup, I don't think, unless Glennon throws 3 or 4 interceptions on Sunday.
Yeah, and Brian, it's not because they're mad at him, and that's what I'm seeing is like, no, that's not the case.
No, they just know he's not their guy. And look, we're reaching that point with this conversation where people, and not everybody, but the people that refuse to let this one die are going to need to be told Gardner Minshew's not going to be here in 2021. If you're a general manager and you're going to draft a quarterback with your first overall pick, you don't want this Minshew mania thing hanging over his head. And any mistake he makes, they're calling for Minshew. They're going to, by not letting this thing die, essentially push him out of town. Jaguars are going to release him and let him go wherever he'd like to go, but they're not going to have this distraction. A new general manager is not going to want to mess around with this thing at all. Your backup quarterback is supposed to be the quiet guy on the bench that people don't really talk about unless your starter's really not playing very well, and a rookie quarterback's going to have his moments. I thought I saw this coming, but the fact that this just keeps circulating and circulating and circulating, I think it's a given that he will play his football elsewhere in 2021.
Yep, it's definitely a sign because we all can expect those Gardner Minshew questions and press conferences with Doug Marrone and Jay Gruden. They're going to keep coming. So this conversation sadly probably won't end until the end of the season, but I agree with you, Brian, kind of with his personality as a backup quarterback, at times that won't work. So we'll see what happens. And now we go to big thing 2, which is that consistency that the Jaguars are looking for. And John, I go to this with the quarterback position. They had Ryan Tannehill, they had the Marcus Mariota drama. Who do you start? But even with all of that unfolding, they still were able to be consistent with that shakeup.
Yeah, and it as Brian alluded to this week in Quick Thoughts, they're a very consistent organization that knows what they are. They went with Mariota for a long time. They gave him every chance. He was the number 2 overall pick in the draft. And then a lot of credit to Tannehill, who has come in and been so much better than even most observers realize. Anybody around the Titans will tell you it's not just Derrick Henry in this offense. Tannehill has played at a high level. Looking back to the Jaguars-Titans game this year, it really wasn't Derrick Henry. The threat of Derrick Henry mattered very much in that game. But in the first half of that game, when the Titans got away from the Jaguars a little bit, it was Tannehill making big plays, throwing to the receivers, throwing to the tight ends, and taking advantage of that defense. So to me, this is one of the most balanced offenses in the league. They have reached a point that they want to be at where it's run, pass, run, pass. I think they wind up probably winning the division this year. I don't know how deep they go in the playoffs, but I think I do think they go 3-1 the rest of the way and get in as the AFC South champ.
Okay, Brian, so we talk about that consistency, and we're angling it towards the Jaguars. What do the Jaguars have to do to kind of follow this path? And I know you will say get a franchise quarterback. That's number 1, and that's obvious.
Well,
but what else? How can you model this organization and get on the same path as them?
You have to take a deeper look at the Titans in just the last 4 years, okay? Go back to their Oiler days, Love You Blue, in the 70s, where they were chasing the Pittsburgh Steelers year in and year out. They built a team designed to compete with the Steelers. They ran the ball with Earl Campbell, maybe the best big running back in the game, outside of Jim Brown. Even in the 90s and in early 2000s, they had Eddie George. They've had many different quarterbacks. They've had eras where they threw the ball all over the place, with Mouse Davis in the 80s and early 90s with the I forget the name of that, the offense, but they threw the ball all over the place. I don't know why I'm forgetting the offense. Fun and gun, run and gun, whatever you want to call it. Run and shoot, whatever. But they've always had this identity that they ran the ball well and they played great defense. And then they've mixed around that. And that goes back to Bud Adams. The ownership made the decision that was how they were going to play. And Bud Adams died in 2013, and his daughter took over, and yet they've maintained that consistency. They had a long-term GM in Floyd Reese. It's since become someone else. But the reality of it is that the franchise has a personality. So Mr. Khan is going to set the personality for this franchise by hiring a general manager who's going to sell him on what it should be. The person he hires is going to be that person that establishes where this thing is going. The Steelers, you know what they are when I say Steelers. Oilers, Titans, Niners, right? I mean, there are franchises out there that have been consistently good through the eras. And they do it because they have a style of play, a personality to their franchise. And the Jaguars, they haven't. They did in the early days. They really haven't since, and they've been searching for it for years. Well, you have a franchise chance here with the number 2 overall pick, as it appears they'll have, to go and draft a quarterback. That will set you in motion for what you want to do. But it's also how you build your lines. Are you a run and shoot sort of West Coast offense? Do you want to pound the ball and throw it over the top? This franchise lacks a personality, and it's time for it to decide what it's going to be and then build it. That's where the consistency comes from.
Mm-hmm. Yep, something to think long and hard about this offseason. It's true when you think of teams like the Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's a word that comes to mind, and right now the Jaguars don't have that glaring word. So I agree with you, Brian. It's time to find that this offseason, long and hard thinking about that. When we come back looking at the Tennessee Titans game against the Jaguars this Sunday in Jacksonville, Amy Wells from Titans.com joins us coming up on Jags Drive Time.
You can step up to luxury now.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Whatever you're driving, you can step up to luxury now. Plus, get our Fields amenities, which include complimentary loaners, car washes, and our cafes.
Make this your year to step up to luxury at Fields Cadillac, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Land Rover, Jaguar, and Lexus. When it comes to the ultimate car buying experience, there's only one name that matters: Fields. And Fields matters because you matter. The Fields Auto Group, proud partners of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Dreamfinders Homes has a simple commitment to their home buyers. Deliver unsurpassed quality, uncompromising value, and an extraordinary level of customization you simply won't find with other home builders. With over 40 communities to choose from, you'll find a location you love and the home of your dreams. Dreamfinders has townhomes, single-family homes, and custom estate homes starting from the high 100s and a wide selection of move-in ready homes. Quality, value, customization. That's the Dreamfinders difference. Call 904-738-0165 or online at dreamfindershomes.com. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Prices subject to change without notice. Equal housing opportunity.
Floridians know what it means to stand together. That's why Florida Blue is committed to the people of Florida by providing health care with lower costs and higher quality. Enroll within 60 days of life-changing events, such as losing your job, to get benefits like plans as low as $0 a month and up to $500 per year towards your premiums and wellness rewards. Call 1-800-750-0164 or visit floridablue.com/care today. Florida Blue is a trade name of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida, Incorporated. These health benefit plans have limitations and exclusions.
Jags Drive Time is presented in part by TIAA Bank. Created to serve, built to perform. By Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good.
Fair and Fair reminds you to continue to wear a mask. Help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Fair and Fair, protecting you and your family since 1979. Back on Jags Drive Time, Thursday morning, brought to you by the Fields Auto Group. And on Thursdays, we welcome in a guest to Jags Drive Time to preview Sunday's game this Sunday, Jaguars and Titans. So now we welcome in Amy Wells, who is a reporter for Titans.com. Amy, thank you for waking up early with us.
Good to see you, Ashlyn. How are you?
I am good. Virtual, of course. We'll wave from afar. Sad we don't get to see each other in person this year. But Amy, this Titans team coming off a loss, and we're trying to decide here in Jacksonville if that's a good or bad thing for the Jaguars. They have a comeback against the Browns, end up without a win. So what is the conversation around this game on Sunday? Because it seems like the Titans, they're definitely backs against the wall, needing a win right now.
Well, absolutely. The game against the Cleveland Browns was frustrating. And so the big conversation has been cleaning up mistakes and fixing the things that went wrong. They feel like they didn't play Titans football. And so it's getting back to what they're good at. But here's the thing about the game with the Jags. Records go out the window. Everything goes out the window when the Titans and the Jags meet up. It almost feels like a college rivalry. Like nothing else matters this week but beating the Jags. So I think that it's going to be a very fun game on Sunday. I'm so excited for these teams to meet up. It's always a chippy contest. It's always a game with a lot of passion and excitement. These two teams always seem to match up really, really well. I think it's going to be a great game.
Amy, beyond this game, the Titans' offense and the ability to dominate the line of scrimmage is part and parcel of that franchise's personality. What does it mean to lose the young right tackle that they had, drafted and brought in to take Jack Conklin's place? And how is the offensive line adapting without that kid? Is Dennis Kelly the solution there? And Doug Marrone talked about the interior of this group yesterday as being the reason why perhaps they've been so consistent this year. Your thoughts on their offensive line's performance?
Well, the offensive line has had a lot of curveballs thrown at it this way. Left tackle Taylor Lewan went down. Roger Saffold has been battling some injuries. So they've had to do a lot of adjusting. The news about Isaiah Wilson, while you wish the best for him, doesn't really impact the offensive line that much because he hasn't been on the field at all. Dennis Kelly's been holding down that right tackle spot. He's had a fantastic season, and it's his first year as a consistent starter, and he's done a great job. Nate Davis is a guy that we have been waiting to see. We've been so excited about him, and he's had a great season at that guard spot. So the offensive line really isn't that impacted by yesterday's news. They've been a consistent part of this Titans team despite all of the changes they've had to make. David Quisenberry is another one who has come in at that left tackle spot after a couple guys have gone down after Taylor Lewan, and he's had some successful games. So I think that that's a group of guys who are solid in what they do. They hold themselves to a really high standard. And so they're going to be able to finish out this season just fine. But again, wishing all the best to Isaiah Wilson.
Amy, I think fans typically know a lot about the Titans offense, maybe don't know much about the Titans defense. And I know the storyline is so much that they're having trouble getting pass rush. I think it's 14 sacks in 12 games. How confident is this team that they can, I don't know if the word's fix, but that will get going before the postseason and down the stretch?
Well, Mike Vrabel has talked about it, and he said that the answer really, and this is going to sound silly, but the answer is consistency. It's doing what they know how to do on a consistent basis. It's communicating together on a consistent basis. It takes all 11 guys to make a single defensive play work, and making sure that they are consistently doing everything right is what they're working on all the time. So that's the main area of focus. I don't think that there's concern about that part of the ball. I don't think anybody's worried about it. They're just fine-tuning the little things that make plays successful.
Amy, question about the quarterback that everyone is talking about, Ryan Tannehill, almost 400 yards last week. And I remember when it was almost the passing of the torch from Marcus Mariota to Ryan Tannehill. And it was pretty difficult for people in the organization because Marcus Mariota is a guy that they saw as the future. But did anyone expect this success from Ryan Tannehill? And now obviously seems like the guy that will be there for a long time.
Well, I think at the end of the 2019 season, we were all pretty blown away by what Ryan Tannehill had been able to accomplish. He had such a remarkable season and then such a remarkable run in the playoffs. And he just picked up right where he left off. Ryan Tannehill is 100% the leader of this Titans team in every possible way. On the field, of course, he's the guy calling the plays. He's put in a ton of work with his receivers, with the other guys on offense to make sure that they have that chemistry and they're doing what they need to do. And Ryan Tannehill really takes charge in practice when it comes to that side of the ball. But on the flip side, he's also a leader off the field. He is a strong voice in the locker room, and he has also led the charge in a ton of off-season stuff just around Nashville. Whether it was the tornadoes that hit this city in March, he kind of led the charge of getting in the community and helping out. When it came to social justice and all of the conversations that a lot of teams around the National Football League were having conversations about, he led those conversations for the Tennessee Titans. He was a guy who said, I want to listen, I want to help, I want to understand. And so he has just really stepped up in every possible way. He's done everything that you want a quarterback to do. And oh, by the way, he's having a very impressive 2020 season as well. So just everything about Ryan Tannehill has been such a good fit here in Nashville. And we are so happy to have him for the next couple of years.
Yes, definitely seems like they got that starting quarterback position figured out, to say the least. Well, Amy, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Awesome. It was good to see you. We'll see you soon.
Sounds good. See you, Amy. All right, coming up on Jags Drive Time, we have some top tweets. That was Amy Wells from Titans.com joining us to preview Sunday's game. Much more to come here on Jaguars Drive Time.
Jags Drive Time is presented in part by Dreamfinders Homes, homes that fit your lifestyle. Next Grill, everyone's invited. And Adecco. Visit ADECOUSA.com.
You can step up to luxury now.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Whatever you're driving, you can step up to luxury now. Plus, get our Fields amenities, which include complimentary loaners, car washes, and our cafes.
Make this your year to step up to luxury at Fields Cadillac, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Land Rover, Jaguar, and Lexus. When it comes to the ultimate car buying experience, there's only one name that matters: Fields. And Fields matters because you matter. The Fields Auto Group, proud partners of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Dreamfinders Homes has a simple commitment to their home buyers. Deliver unsurpassed quality, uncompromising value, and an extraordinary level of customization you simply won't find with other home builders. With over 40 communities to choose from, you'll find a location you love and the home of your dreams. Dreamfinders has townhomes, single-family homes, and custom estate homes starting from the high 100s and a wide selection of move-in-ready homes. Quality, value, customization. That's the Dreamfinders difference. Call 904-738-0165 or online at dreamfindershomes.com. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Prices subject to change without notice. Equal housing opportunity.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
They all have different styles of play, obviously. So, each guy is just a little bit different. So for me, I just think it's important in practice, no matter if it's the starter that week or the backup that week, whenever you get a rep with any of the guys, you just got to take it serious, whether it's routes on air, scout team, or going with the one offense. You just got to take it serious because you never know how things could go with injuries or coaching decisions or what have you. But it's all about just taking advantage of those reps in practice. So whatever happens on Sunday, you'll be ready.
All right, put you on the spot. Who throw the best spiral?
They all throw good balls, man. I caught a ball from all three, and they wouldn't be in the league if they didn't belong here,
Colin's not biting on that question. That's definitely a guy that is progressing the way you want a rookie to progress. Expecting big things from Colin Johnson possibly this Sunday against the Titans. But first, the Jaguars have introduced Jags at Home, an interactive second screen experience on Jags Game Day featuring myself and Eric Dunn. Each Sunday I'll have the chance to win $10,000 in cash and prizes. Visit jagsathome.com for more information.
Top tweets. Top tweets. Top tweets.
Top tweets. All right, here we go. Top tweet number 1. This is something we all probably saw with the weird NFL schedule this week. A game on Tuesday, and it was the Dallas Cowboys against the Baltimore Ravens. And obviously this was the return of Dez Bryant, and that was the storyline. So this is very 2020 of the situation. He tweets out, "Where is my wine?" Because get this, he takes a COVID test the morning of Tuesday's game. It comes back with no results. Kind of weird. Okay, so let's retest him pregame on the field. That test comes back positive, meaning Dez Bryant cannot play against the return of the Dallas Cowboys. It was all hyped up to the point that they still ran the pregame interview on Fox of the sit down with Dez Bryant and then found out, oh, never mind, he's not playing. Brian, that was something that I definitely wanted to see. You kind of feel for him. I mean, this was his return, and sadly it can't happen this year.
Nope. And 2020 wins again. I mean, there are so many stories like that. I mean, not necessarily where you're playing your former team, on a Tuesday night, but so many guys who were looking forward to playing and felt fine, but were asymptomatic carriers, and nothing surprises me in 2020.
Absolutely not. Now let's go to top tweet number 2, and it is from TennesseeTitans.com yet again. Another reporter, Jim Wyatt, talking about Mike Vrabel's press conference, who definitely had high praise for the Jaguars despite this losing record. He said they have played 7 one-score football games. We better go down there and be ready to play. And John, I go back, I know I wasn't here yet, but I've heard great things about this matchup in 2016, how the Jaguars were out of it, and they came and they beat the Titans pretty good to get them out of the playoffs. So, like Amy said, there's nothing you can rule out with this game.
Yeah, and it's been a house of horrors, so to speak, in Nashville for the Jaguars. And that sort of resonates in fans' mind. There's a lot of scar tissue with this rivalry for many Jaguars fans. But the Jaguars really have played this team tough for the most part in Jacksonville. There's the game you alluded to. It was one of the more shocking results that doesn't get talked about a whole lot in Jaguars history. The Titans came down needing to win to get in the playoffs, and the Jaguars knocked them out at 1-15 or whatever their record was. So those upsets do happen in this series. I can't pick that this weekend. I don't think that'll happen, but it's not as if the Jaguars haven't played this team tough. They beat them last year. So this is a game where the Jaguars typically play the Titans well if they're in Jacksonville.
Yep. Weirder things have happened. And finally, top tweet number 3, we go to Mike Silver from the NFL Network, who echoed many, many people on Twitter yesterday our condolences to our guy Mike Perkins with the Jaguars, who has been with the Jaguars since Brian started way back 26 years ago. Sadly, his father Ray has passed away yesterday, and hearing all kinds of things of what a great football coach he was, Brian, but even better person. So our thoughts to the Perkins family as a whole.
Yeah, Mike Perkins, he would argue with this word, but he is beloved by people around the league. His personality, the way he treats people, the way he makes things happen. He's one of those guys, handful of us who have been there since the very early days, and he's the heart and soul in many respects of that franchise. He has a finger on the pulse, and he grew up in football because of his father at Alabama and in the National Football League, and followed in his father's footsteps, not as a coach, but into professional football. And he kept his dad lived in Mississippi and, stayed in coaching. And there were times where we went to play the Raiders once, and Mike and his dad were on the field. And I thought, what a cool moment for Mike and his dad. It was probably nothing to them. They've probably been on fields, together forever. But I kind of enjoyed it. And, his father was a good coach. He followed Bear Bryant. My goodness, can you imagine being the guy who has to follow Bear Bryant? But Ray Perkins coached in this league a long, long time. Mike has worked in this league a long, long time. And the Perkins are a great family. And my prayers are with Mike and his family.
Absolutely. All our thoughts and prayers here on Jags Drive Time and the Jaguars organization as a whole with the Perkins family during this tough time. We are thinking of you. And those are top tweets. When we come back, some closing thoughts here on the Jaguars Digital Network.
can step up to luxury now.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Whatever you're driving, you can step up to luxury now. Plus, get our Fields amenities, which include complimentary loaners, car washes, and our cafes.
Make this your year to step up to luxury at Fields Cadillac, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Land Rover, Jaguar, and Lexus. When it comes to the ultimate car buying experience, there's only one name that matters: Fields. And Fields matters because you matter. The Fields Auto Group, proud partners of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Why do you choose Farah and Farah? First, we have the financial resources to take on any insurance company, and our track record proves that we know how to win. Our attorneys and staff are a team, and we've worked together for decades. To us, our job is much more than just a paycheck. We love to help, and this is important. We never forget. It's not about us, it's all about you. Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
At ViStar, we believe in better. And that means treating people better with friendly, personal service that's kept our members happy since 1952. A smile and personal greeting when you enter the branch, an online or phone chat for those quick questions, and a call center that's open every day. If you believe that great service is better, join ViStar. We never forget that it's your money. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
Back on Jags Drive Time Thursday morning, brought to you by the Fields Auto Group. Thanks so much to Amy Wells from Titans.com for joining us to take a look at Sunday's game. Defense day, press conferences. We have Todd Wash as well as players after practice. And then we'll be back tomorrow morning to do it all over again with head coach Doug Marrone. Coffee with the coach, 9 a.m. bright and early. We will see you then.